Welcome to the MIS project on cloud computing. This presentation is for educational purpose only, therefore use it at your own risk. The agenda for today is first an introduction and explanation of the purpose of the cloud project. Then we go over to the background of the cloud project. We show the business case. That includes, of course, a sensitivity analysis with 3 scenarios. Then afterwards we come to the conclusions of the cloud project and the lessons learned. Finally, there is also a list of references. Introduction and purpose of the cloud project. Reason I came up to the idea for this cloud project was that I attended a technology seminar on cloud computing. Cloud computing, I thought, during the seminar would offer potential benefits to Swiss life. It also will be well received by management and staff. Purpose is, of course, present a business case, and the concrete case will be to implement the 25 three-tier web apps at Swiss Life. That would include 6 times servers with load balancer, 2 times storage, 2 databases, and 3 data links per web app. We also show a cumulative NPV of cash flows over 6 years, payback period, return on investment, benefit to cost ratio, and profitability index. Including in the business case is also a sensitivity analysis with 3 scenarios. Background for the cloud project. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the delivery of hardware and software as a pool of virtualized resources over a network rather than a product. Resources, you can say services, and network, it would be the internet protocol. Cloud computing consists of 3 different types of services: cloud infrastructure as a service, cloud platform as a service, and cloud software as a service. You can see it also on the pictures on the right hand side. We have decided to go over with platform as a service. Experiences and success stories of other companies are cost reductions of up to 80 to 90%, improved efficiency, speed, and scalability. Background for the cloud project continued. Advantages of a 3-tier web app on the cloud, and also the reason why I've chosen a 3-tier web app is a web app is neither a core process nor needs regulated data. It has a higher tolerance for risk, but improved IT security is still needed. Also, a smaller project gives the company first-hand experience with cloud computing. The other thing is IT operational budget in the financial services sector will increase 5% from prior year, according to Computer Economics. You can see the graph by sector on the right-hand side. The assumptions for this cloud project are that about 10 IT employees are affected and about 5% of the IT equipment will be also affected. On this slide, you can see the business case. Actually, this is a screenshot of the exact same data you can also find on the Excel file attached also to this PowerPoint presentation. On the top right side, you can see all the relevant ratios. As you can see also from those figures, all the figures are sound. Maybe let's go to the relevant benefits and costs. As I said before, the reduced cost of IT equipment will be about 5%, and I used also per year a 5% increase according to the data that is expected by other companies. Also, reduced cost of IT employees will be the 10 IT employees, and also per year a 2% increase. We can see also on the sensitivity analysis where I've chosen a radical scenario with no reduced cost of IT employees. On the cost side, we have first the legal costs, which includes policy management and trainings of the new policy. Also, the second one will be project costs, of course, and the maintenance. That would also include ICT data security. On both, you have at the beginning, the first 2 years, more costs, and then they will be reduced and remain constant throughout the other years. The next three ones are actually the costs of the web app itself. The 6 servers for 25 web apps, storage for 25 web apps, and for storage I have calculated 20% increase per annum, as we expect usage of the web apps would increase throughout the years. Also, we have data transfers of the 25 web apps. You can see and calculate or make your own assumptions according to the Excel spreadsheet that also is attached to this presentation. Now let's go over to the sensitivity analysis. As you can see on the graph, the three models. The first one in blue, it's the expected model. It's according to the data that we have seen before. The second one is the same IT staff model. We have also mentioned that previously. It's actually according with the same staff, but meaning that there are no benefits of reduced staff. Of course, all the staff that will be reduced would work on other projects because we have an increased IT budget. But again, here, just to have a kind of stress test, we have used no benefits from reduced staff. The third one will be twice the legal costs and project costs model. If you compare, all the three models are still sound, even if we have kind of stress tests included. Of course, the other two models have a longer payback period and less lower return on investment. What you have seen previously on the graph, we can see here according to the ratios. As said before, the return on investment is lower on the other two models, but also the payback period is longer on the other two models, and also the profitability index is also lower on the other two models. Conclusions. The 3T web app project on the cloud is sound with all three scenarios. Thus, the business case recommends to accept it. Cloud computing can give Swiss Life a competitive advantage. Either you have reduced cost and deliver the same like competition, or you can deliver more at the same costs. Cloud computing is the ideal solution for applications where the usages are known. Again, we don't want to spend the same amount at the beginning if the application is not used enough. Also, depending on the requirements of the app, the calculation should be updated for the specific needs. Depending on the apps, there are other needs. And finally, IT security and updating the policies should be carefully analyzed further, especially if client's data is involved. Lessons learned. Cloud computing is the ideal platform if the usages are known or if there is a higher tolerance for risk. It allows companies to minimize IT investments because the usage is on demand. IT security and implementation of new policies should always be considered, especially if client data is involved. Cost reduction with cloud computing can be up to 80 to 90%, but what works for one company doesn't have to work with another company. And then cloud computing improves efficiency, speed, and has the potential for unlimited availability, reliability, and scalability. Of course, the availability will be about 99.99 or something percent, still not 100%, but still much, much better with rather than having an own solution. Lessons learned continued. The cloud computing strategy should always be aligned with the firm's overall strategy. I think the worst case would be just to implement the cloud computing project without having a clear strategy, or only because the competition also has a cloud computing project. And finally, there are four main differences that distinguish cloud computing from traditional computing models: procurement, buying a service instead of an asset; business model, paying only on the service used instead of paying for fixed assets, overhead, and administration; Accessibility, cloud computing services are only available through standard internet protocols, and technical, cloud computing is dynamically scalable compared to a single-use dedicated static system with underutilized capacity. List of references. I want to point out on this list especially the Plan for Cloud. It's a free cloud cost calculator that can be used for different scenarios. The next side of the list of references, I also want to point out computer economics. Actually, you can see there the IT spending and staffing benchmark I used for this presentation. Thanks a lot for your attention.